Welcome to Montreal, where the teams are ready for today's practice session at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Personally, I think we're in for a real treat today. In 1999, the outside track wall, situated on the last corner of the lap, ended the race of 3 Formula One world champions: Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve. Since then, the wall has come to be known to fans around the world as the infamous Wall of Champions.
Turns 13 and 14 are definitely the most demanding corners on the track. A quick chicane section entering at over 180 miles per hour, drivers use plenty of curb and get very close to the wall. But hitting those curbs at the wrong angle can easily put the car offline. You'll see a lot of drivers bail out of committing into turn 13 using the escape road to avoid contact with the wall.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another brand new video here today. We're back for another episode of this F1 2019 career mode here today for the Canadian Grand Prix. Now, a couple of things I want to clear up. The pad is no more. That has been thrown on the sidelines. I've made the switch over to the wheel now permanently for for everything. F1, GT Sport, any other types of racing games that I play here and there. They're all on the wheel now. The pad has officially been retired, and yeah, today's video is the very first career mode race on the wheel. Not gonna lie, I did a lot of practice for this race. Probably reminiscent of what I would have actually done if it was a league race, to be honest. That's how much time and effort I actually put in to make sure I could at least be somewhat competitive for this weekend. And anyway, practice one, as you can see, started off in intermediate conditions, but it dried out towards the end. Only run around on the hards, so didn't really take too much notice of what the final results look like. FP2, bit more promising, up in P4, right behind our teammate, but once again he's on mediums, we're on softs, so that kind of makes things a bit awkward. But then final practice, intermediate conditions all the way, and we actually topped final practice by about 1/10.5 over our teammate, so that was alright. And I think we are not expecting any rain. Oh no, rain at the end of qualifying. Okay, so that might spice things up. But it's a dry race, so hopefully we can have a good one. But let's get into quali and see what we can do.
Hello and welcome from the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, home to the Canadian Grand Prix, for today's qualifying session. And I'm here, of course, with Anthony Davidson on what has turned out to be a very pleasant day indeed. No weather to interfere, no problems on the track, so absolutely no room for error.
That's right, Crofty, it's looking good out there at the moment. Each team will have their own game plan for this session, and of course once the cars leave the garage they'll be under parc fermé conditions, so any last minute adjustments need to be done right here and now. Beyond that, it's all up to the driver. Who can keep their tyres in the right temperature, who can hit their apexes. No race fuel on board these days, of course. These are the fastest cars we've had in a long time, and it's right here in qualifying where they're at their absolute peak. Let's get started.
Alright, so here we are, qualifying for the Canadian Grand Prix, going out basically right at the start of Q1, knowing that the rain was supposed to hit pretty early. I wanted to get a time on the board. I was pretty confident that I could get through. Obviously, when the rain does come down, there's not going to be any improvements, so the early banker time, so to speak, that the AI set, probably going to be all they're going to be able to do. So we come across the line for a 107.7, not bad for our first lap. We split Hamilton and Norris, currently P2, P3 as we fast forward to the end of the session with Sergio Perez ending up in P1, but we make it through in P3, not too far off our teammate either, only 3/10 behind, so that is promising, especially since this is the first race on the wheel. And knowing how quick Perez's AI can be, I'm actually pretty pleased with that. So going off that logic, you would think that we should have the pace to get through to Q2. Obviously it will be raining, and cutting on to Q2, here it is. And well, as you can see, just struggling for traction. Just the car was really unstable in this first run. As you can see, across the line, provisionally P7, or in other words, last. And as you can see now, we're going out right at the end of the session again on the same set of tyres. Now, I made a big blunder here because of all the intermediate running I did in practice. I only have one fresh set of intermediate tyres to use during qualifying, and I used them at the start, so now I've got to go back out on them again, even though they've already done one run, and somehow try and get into Q2 if we can. But just look how far up we are on our previous best, already over a second up. We're purple in Sector 1, down to 15th now, so we are currently last in Q2. So we need to pull a bit of a magic trick here and try and get into the top 10, into the hairpin. Now we're a 10th down on the provisional pole time of Lucas Weber in the Haas. In the Haas? No, Toro Rosso. Oh, jeez, I don't know where I got that from, but anyway. Daniel Ricciardo provisionally now goes pole position. We are basically 2 seconds up as we come into the final chicane, so surely this should see us through into the final part of qualifying, through the final chicane. Maximum commitment. Vettel goes P1 on the 16.4. We come across the line for a 16.9, currently P2. Surely that should be enough to get us through to Q3. We'll head over and have a look at the results. No! Are you actually serious right now? We were P2 with about 5 seconds to go in this bloody session, and we have been knocked out by less than a tenth of a second. Oh my god, really? Perez tops Q2 on a 16.0. We only just miss out on a 16.9. And I know where I could have found that time as well, so that frustrates me even more. But oh, that's just so annoying. Like, I know track evolution is a thing, but oh, that's just so frustrating. Like, we were P2 with like 5 seconds left. We retire and have a look at the end results, and we're out of the top 10.
Tough luck there. It's not quite where we'd want to be on the grid, but chin up, it's not the end of the world.
Alright, so we'll have to make the best of a bad situation, I suppose. P11, at least we will get free choice of tyre as well, so I guess that's something that might help us out. But we haven't made things easy for ourselves down in P11, but let's go to the race and let's see what we can do.
Canada has a true love affair with Formula One. The grandstands here are always packed to capacity. It's a country that has given us the likes of Gilles and Jacques Villeneuve, the thrilling Grand Prix of '79, of '98 and of course 2011. They love their motorsport in Montreal, and we absolutely love coming here. It's one of the fastest races of the season here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 60% of this 2.7-mile circuit taken at full throttle. There are 14 corners to navigate, the very last of which has its very own infamous history. Could be the cause of a safety car today. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Let's talk about Lee. No grid penalties, no mitigating circumstances, just a poor qualifying performance and a very disappointing start position for them today.
They'll have a sinking feeling as they look up from the cockpit and realise they're in a different postcode to the start line for sure. But the one positive they can hold on to is that the car is quick and they can make their way through the field.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton and Perez, Norris, Gasly, Kvyat and Kimi Raikkonen, Lee, Russell, Lucas Weber and Stroll, Kubica, Grosjean, Antonio Giovinazzi and Kevin Magnussen. Butler and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid, and with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, be wary of the cars ahead braking suddenly into one. We could ruin our race if we hit them. Good luck.
Alright, thank you for the warning, Chief. I think I've done enough races that I already know that, but nice to know he at least cares anyway. But welcome guys to the grid of the Canadian Grand Prix. Flicking through strategy at the moment, not really sure what I want to do at the moment, whether I want to try a 2-stop or a 1-stop. I think I might just stick with the 2-stop, it does seem to be the way to go around here. Obviously assuming that you've got the car pace to pull it off, which I think we do. So hopefully we can make it work. But one quick thing I do want to say just before we get underway, thank you guys once again for all the support on this channel. We're nearly at 200 subs already, and considering I only started this channel up probably like 13, 14 months ago or something, it's grown a hell of a lot quicker than what I thought it would. Only 6 subscribers away from 200, so if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, make sure you do, and you might be the 200th subscriber on the channel. But yeah, like I said, just you know, thank you guys for all the support. It is seriously appreciated. It means a hell of a lot. So, you know, thank you for all the support once again. But anyway, now that I've got that gibberish talk out of the way, reform back on the grid.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
Alright, we're all set, ready to roll for the Canadian Grand Prix here for Season 2. First race on the new wheel, on the new setup as well, so hopefully this goes well. 5 lights, and away we go. Looks like a pretty average start, it must be said. That's a shocking start compared to the AI. Russell tries to make a move around the outside. We're going to dive Kimi back up the inside. He's on mediums as well, so we can't fall behind him. Try to go around the outside of Gasly. No room there, unfortunately. We maintain, actually no, we've gained 1 spot. We're up to P10, I should say. And yeah, not a bad start after not getting off the line too well. Up the inside of Gasly now at the end of Sector 1. We should get that done. I think that was bloody close, as all nearly lose the back end. But we're up to P9 now. Next up, Lando Norris in the Alpha on the medium tyres. So we need to try and get by him as quickly as we can. We can't be held up by the medium runners at the moment. I'm not too sure if any of the front guys are actually on mediums either, but we can't worry about that. We've got to get this move done on Norris. Round the outside into turn 1. Very nice move on the Alfa Romeo. And just like that, up to P8. Next up, the Torpedo, Danny Kvyat. Hopefully, if we try and make a move, he doesn't try and murder us. But anyway, that is that still like a meme or something? I still hear so many people call him the Torpedo. Like, that's a nickname that's going to stick for life with Danny Kvyat. But anyway, getting on to the end of lap 3, we're right up behind the back of the Renault. DRS on the front straight. We're going to go up into overtake. Rich fuel mixture. We're going to dart to the inside. We should get this move done. He squeezes us against the wall, but we go up the inside into turn 1. We actually go a bit deep, and he's on our outside, but I think we should get the move done. We try and squeeze him a little bit, and job done. Up into P7. Best of the rest now, effectively. But cutting on to lap 4 a little bit later, Kvyat actually tries to come back at us into a hairpin. We didn't get a real good run out of that left-hander, and Kvyat was just, yeah, he just had a massive run on us, tried to re-overtake us, nothing he could do unfortunately, so we maintain P7 for the moment. Cutting on to lap 7, as you can see, big train just ahead of us. Is a big lose at the back end coming out of that left-hander again, just really struggling to put the power down out of there. The back end of the car is just really, really loose. So it's a little bit tricky to try and hang on to, but we're gaining on these leaders at the moment, surprisingly. Getting on to the end of lap 8 now, side by side into the chicane between former teammates Hamilton and Bottas. We've got to run on both of them, and we're going to try and go round the outside, 3 wide on the front straight, and I think we've actually got that done in the turn 1. How do you like that? Double overtake on a Mercedes and a Red Bull from P7 up to P5 in the blink of an eye. And pretty damn good move if I say so myself. Coming on to lap 9 into the pits for our first of 2 stops during this race. We're going to come in onto the set of medium tyres, which I think is what everybody else around us is going to be doing as well. Good clean stop from the boys. 2.6 seconds as we actually ghost into Lewis Hamilton there. Luckily we just ghost ahead of him. But man, that could have been close there. But anyway, here we go, re-emerging out of the pits. We've got the two Haas's right there. I want to try and get Grosjean at least if we can. That's going to be close, but we do. We've just emerged in between the two Haas's. Now, that is going to help us a little bit because that has put a car in between ourselves and Hamilton. That's a warning for exceeding track limits, so that's not going to help our cause at all. But we've got just a little bit of breathing room now. We've got a car in between ourselves and the guys that we're fighting, but we've still got to dispose of Kevin Magnussen here, which it looks like we're going to do on the back straight. DRS overtake, rich fuel mixture. We should get that done, and we do. Past him before we even get to the braking zone. Two guys ahead, Peel in the pits as well. I think basically everybody is in the pits that was ahead of us. Just keeping an eye out for Max Verstappen now, because he was really the guy that we are racing. Yeah, you can see the proximity arrow. I think we've actually jumped the Dutchman, and we have, only barely, but we have jumped Max Verstappen. But not for long, because there goes the Red Bull back up here inside. We've had to cut the corner a little bit there to avoid making contact. And now this has given Kevin Magnussen a run on us. And the Haas driver is now going to try and re-overtake us. And this is not what we need at the moment. We cannot let Magnussen back through. But luckily, better tyres, superior traction out of the hairpin. And we maintain P7. Verstappen is on the softs though. So that is something to watch out for. But here comes Magnussen with DRS. He's trying to re-overtake us here. And he gets that spot back. That is not good news for us. This is not what we need at the moment. We need to get rid of this Haas. Otherwise this is really going to affect our race. I think he hasn't made a pit stop yet. So he's still on like 12, 13 lap old medium tyres. Whereas they're only like 2 or 3 laps old. So we need to get a wriggle on here. Onto lap 12. Dive up the inside of the hairpin. That was probably a bit ambitious. But we needed to get that done. We were being held up. You can see how much Verstappen has cleared off. Yes, albeit he is on the soft compound tyre, but he is extremely quick at the moment compared to us. Cutting on to lap 17. We're not too far off the Ferraris or Verstappen at the moment. Max has actually drifted back into our clutches a little bit in these last few laps, so maybe those soft tyres are not lasting as long as what the Red Bull might like. We're actually up to P5 at the moment as well, so that's something worth noting. But coming on to the end of lap 20, Verstappen peels in the pits. He's had enough. I'm guessing he's going to go onto a set of medium tyres because he's been on the softs twice now, so he will have to use another set of tyres. But we carry on for another lap in P3. Charles Leclerc just there ahead of us. But what I actually decided to do, I was supposed to go on to mediums again, but I actually decided to change my strategy at the last minute, run an extra 2 laps, and what I'm actually going to do is, while I know I've probably cost myself a shot at a podium, I've run a bit longer so I can come in and put softs on at the end. Now the main reason I did this is because of seeing Max Verstappen do it in the middle point of the race, and I knew softs could probably last about 12 laps, and that was on heavy fuel, so I thought on lighter fuel they should easily be able to make it to the end. And we're going to re-emerge here with 10 laps to go, right with Verstappen and Lando Norris. We're going to try and make a move on the Alpha straight away into this right-hander, side by side, very close between the two of us, but we get that spot off Lando, up to P6 now, and yeah, now we set about chasing down Max Verstappen, and the two Ferraris aren't that far up the road either, so we're not exactly that far off the podium position. Coming on to the end of lap 25, Sergio Perez goes quickest with a 109.5. We are right up the gearbox of Max Verstappen here. This is actually a fastest lap attempt, I think. No, not quite. Purple final sector anyway. Round the outside of Verstappen into turn 1 with a superior grip. Nothing the Dutchman could do there to try and hold us off. And something that is worth noting as Perez goes quickest again. We're actually trying a fastest lap attempt this time around. No AI that we had to try and negotiate this time. I think we should go purple, and we do on a 109.422. So extra point for us at the moment with 8 laps to go. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying originally, Charles Leclerc is on the hard tyres. Now that's really interesting because I would have thought he was on mediums or softs, but no, he's on the hards. and we're on softs, so we can generally get a podium here, lads. Cutting on to lap 33 on the back straight, overtake rich fuel mixture. We get the move done into the final chicane. We throw it in, trying to make sure that Leclerc didn't try and come back up her inside. And just like that, we're now into the podium spots. Cutting onto the final lap though, we've made a mistake. We've done a Sebastian Vettel. We've ran wide, and that is going to allow Leclerc to have a run on the C. Softs are really dying off a little bit now. Leclerc tries to go really outside in this right-hander. No way through for the Ferrari driver. We maintain P3 for the moment. Max Verstappen not too far behind us either, so we got to watch out. You know that Red Bull will go for a dive if the opportunity arises through the hairpin for the final time. Sergio Perez is set to win the Grand Prix. There he goes. That just shows how far ahead he was, by the way. He was out of here. Sebastian Vettel will come across the line for P2, but who is going to get the final podium place? You can see Leclerc coming in the mirrors, but I think we should be good through the final chicane. Nice and clean, avoid the wall, and I think in our very first race on the wheel, we're going to come across the line for P3.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
And an incredible win for Racing Point. A brilliant performance. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Racing Point's performance today has shown that they can be competitive with the veterans of the sport. They're making their way out to the podium now as we speak, and the reaction from the crowd must be incredibly uplifting for them.
Alright, so there we go guys, that has been today's video. Career mode for the Canadian Grand Prix. Sergio Perez, another win for the Mexican, quite convincingly as well. 12 seconds clear of Sebastian Vettel. And looking at the strategy as well, seems the two-stop was the way to go. That's what everybody went on. I'm still surprised that Leclerc was on hards at the end of the race. I don't know why he would have done something like that, because he was so slow. And that was basically what enabled us to end up with P3. I still can't believe that. That's my first race on the new setup on the wheel, and it doesn't look like we've lost a step at all. So I am bloody proud of that, to be honest. That is honestly one of the best races I think I've ever done. I'm bloody proud of that one. I really am.
Commiserations on that result. It's been a tough weekend.
And of course, commiserations because we did not win the race. Emma, you are a little sod. Piss off. But anyway, there we go guys. That has been today's video. Career mode for the Canadian Grand Prix. I hope you all enjoyed. R&D side of things, not too sure what I want to do for the French Grand Prix. I'm thinking of a durability upgrade, to be honest. I really would like a few parts on the car to last a little bit longer than what they are, so we'll go for a durability upgrade. And I think we've got an aero and a chassis upgrade on the way as well, so hopefully that can all go on the car in time for the next episode. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, stay tuned for plenty more as well. Stay safe during these hard times, and yeah, stay safe everybody, and I'll see you all again soon.